What's going on, everyone? My name is Jeff. So this is probably one of the hottest IPOs I have seen in quite a few years, and it's really come completely out of left field. If I was to take my guess, I would say an IPO with 1 month on the stock market to even closely trade at the levels Beyond Meat have, I would figure would be Zoom Media, Uber, or possibly Lyft. Like I said, in that initial month, IPOs are historically drastically overtraded early on, and then like I said, earnings usually set them back. Reality sets in, and most of the time these stocks trade back down to their more normal market valuation. So what I do want to talk about in this video, guys, is Beyond Meat just dramatically overvalued. Do we have any way of measuring that, kind of making a decision on it before earnings? We do have earnings this week, so I will be talking about that as well. And have some of the recent excitement around Beyond Meat, has that already been priced into the stock before earnings? So even if they do come out with a pretty good report, could we still stand to see the stock trade back down a little bit? So this is the first video I've made about them, and the ticker symbol is BYND. I did mention this stock in my 3 stocks to short video the other night, and I just basically want to get my coverage out here on YouTube, kind of get the conversation going. It is definitely on my radar. We're also going to look at put options as well, because the puts are very, very expensive. And of course, I think the options market is definitely pricing in a big fall in Beyond Meat stock price. So do me a favor, guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video. I appreciate all the support, and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. All right, guys, so Beyond Meat will be reporting earnings on June 6th. So that is just 2 days away. And I'm going to go ahead and come out and say this. I have not made a trade on Beyond Meat simply because of the level of uncertainty, okay? This stock could be very, very undervalued. I'm going to talk in just a moment and illustrate to you how I do think it is very overvalued based on valuation. But then when you also consider demand of the stock, it could be very undervalued. So there's definitely an argument there. Earnings is really going to tell the story we all want to hear. So that is coming up on the 6th. I will be paying very close attention to it. It is actually only one of a very few earnings reports I'm even interested in this week. And their EPS forecast for the quarter is a negative 14 cents. And I have read in a couple different places that their revenue estimate is around $40 million. So right there, I think there's some level of argument. This is a $6 billion market cap company, and they're expected to bring $40 million of revenue to the table. So all signs do point to this being very overvalued right now. And so Beyond Meat hit the market, and their IPO took place on May 3rd, and their original IPO stock price was $45 a share. And of course, it opened up around $72 and traded all the way up to $74 in its first day. As you can see, guys, it has taken a few dips here and there, and there was some news today that did drop the stock price over 7%, but even over the past week has seen a new high of $108 per share, and now has traded its way to $96. So the point I do want to make right here, most of the time these companies that IPO, they try to come onto the market as close to fair valuation as they possibly can. So keep in mind, they are coming to their first earnings report almost double their original valuation, around $45 a share. Demand could be pushing that stock price. There's a lot of people that want to get in Beyond Meat because of all the upcoming exciting opportunities that could be in this company's future. But we can't ignore the fundamentals, okay? This is around a $5.6 billion company, and really when they came onto the market, it was only meant to be a little under $3 billion. So you are certainly paying a premium for one share of this stock right now. However, that does not mean we are going to see a big fall in the stock price. If I was to take my pick, and like I said, I have not made a trade, nor have I bought puts or calls on this company yet, I would say this stock stands to fall quite a bit on their first earnings report, and of course then 6 months in. So now we're talking down towards the end of the year, we will have the lockup expiration, and usually you do see a pretty strong sell-off in most stocks when that takes place. So Beyond Meat makes plant-based burgers and sausages that are supposed to replicate eating the real thing, okay? I have not sampled or tasted any of these products yet, but that is the reason they've gotten so many bullish calls from analysts who say the company stands to gain as more wellness-minded customers seek alternatives to meat at grocery stores and fast food chains. And of course, Del Taco, they have begun serving Beyond Meat's plant-based ground beef. Now, Burger King, they've talked about wanting to sell plant-based Whopper patties from rival Impossible Foods nationwide. And at Tim Hortons, which Restaurant Brands also owns, said it would test Beyond Meat's plant-based sausages in breakfast sandwiches. And so that is really where all ears are going to be pointed on this earnings report, okay? Because analysts have come out and say that they're looking for more insights on the performance of their food service business. So we really want to listen for things around the competitive landscape and its ability to handle demand. Should like a large fast food company like McDonald's start selling Beyond Meat's products. And of course, last month during McDonald's earnings call, they did mention that they were paying very close attention to plant-based proteins. So it would seem kind of natural that Beyond Meat might be an upcoming candidate if McDonald's does decide to change to plant-based alternatives. And so what this has spawned is a perceived great growth potential. And guys, I also think there is a great opportunity for growth here. JP Morgan Chase analyst Ken Goldman last week gave the company an overweight rating and a $97 price target, which ironically enough is what they are currently trading at right now, just a little under $97. You know, Bernstein analyst Alexia Howard said sales could reach around $2 billion in 2028, even if it grabs just 5% of the U.S. plant-based meat industry. And they gave Beyond Meat an outperform rating with an $81 price target. So again, that's what I was talking about. You're paying a premium even on an outperform rating and a high price target. You'd be paying, $15 over that current price target. And so that's kind of where my common sense kicks in, and I agree with some of these other analysts that say despite a solid business and massive growth potential in the future, the valuation on Beyond Meat already reflects years of gains. Like I said, the stock is already trading at 2 and 3 times its early valuation metrics. So it does kind of feel like it is in trading in the nosebleed levels right now, and we all have to keep in mind this is a startup company, so we can expect a lot of inefficiency in the early stages. And basing that off of history, despite the huge growth potential, I think it is pretty safe to say we will see the stock trade back down, and I really would not be surprised to see it trade back down closer to that $45 per share level that they originally come in at. As a matter of fact, I actually think original shares were priced at 25 and the stock just popped up to 45, then went well over 70, and now, like I said, over 90. And also today, while the stock was trading, it lost over 7% of its value. Now the market was very volatile, guys. We are in a bear market, but Nestle announced Monday that it will launch a veggie burger in the US this fall. And that plant-based protein is gaining popularity in the US and abroad, with grocery stores and fast food chains adding vegan options. So that's another thing to keep in mind. A lot of other companies are going to jump on this. Conversely, is going to start taking any market share Beyond Meat has away from them. And then, of course, keep in mind that this stock is going to be very sensitive to news. So anytime a bigger company comes out and says they're going to enter this space, the plant-based protein space, you can expect to see shares of Beyond Meat dive almost immediately. And we really have no idea how they're going to respond to demand. Like I mentioned, if they did land a deal with McDonald's or a big fast food restaurant, how are they going to be able to hold up against that massive amount of demand? So there's a lot of tests this company has not taken yet. And from that aspect, they're very unproven still. And of course, the put options on Beyond Meat, I feel, guys, they are pricing in a perceived big drop in the stock price. So I have the June 21st put options pulled up on Beyond Meat. And really what I'm aiming for here is this break-even price. If you could see Beyond Meat trading back down to around $75, one contract is going to cost you about $530. So of course I would be a lot more compelled to jog down further and check out some of those cheaper options. And as you can see here today, while the stock dropped around $7, You can see these $64 puts actually priced up around 84%. These $63 puts priced up about 176%. So if you did get in some of these weekly puts, you know, back while it was running well over $100 a share, you would be sitting on well over a 100% return right now. Now I've got the August 16 puts that if I was to get a set of options, this would give me a little bit more time to execute this trade and kind of work it a little bit. And as you can see, even some of these options priced up pretty nicely today. Like I said, those $50 strikes, they priced up around 40% today. And the $47.50 strikes, they priced up around 28%. So that is probably somewhere, if I was to make a trade or buy puts on Beyond Meat, this is somewhere where I would be shopping. I'd like to get a few months out. And I'm probably going to wait till after the earnings report just to see what kind of response Wall Street gives it, okay? Because they could miss on EPS and they could miss on revenue, but have outstanding guidance and the stock could continue to run. And there's just a bunch of different scenarios. I want to kind of feel the pulse of this company, see what they say on earnings, and then I will come back and start pricing put options. I'm kind of expecting the stock to drop after earnings. But anyways, guys, that's all I got for the video. Make sure to go down in the comments, share your opinion with me about Beyond Meat. What do you think is going to happen on earnings? I'm very excited to kind of hear some of these comments and conversate with some of you. We've been having some very, very good conversation in the comments lately. Thank you, as always, for watching the video, and have an awesome day.